Hey everybody, Corbs here and welcome to a new video. Right now we're talking about a specific setup using the volume profile that you can go out right now and start finding, you can start testing, and then incorporate that into the trades that you look to take every day. Okay, so the trade that we're looking for right now is extremely powerful. You're not going to see this surface every day, but when it does, this is going to play out over 90% of the time. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm not making this up. That 90% number comes from a back testing that was done over 2,000 trading days. And if you understand that there's only 252 trading days a year, then going back 2,000 brings in years worth of data. And the result of that back testing had this setup playing out over 90% of the time. So it's extremely powerful. And before you can go out there and start finding it, we need a couple of things. The first is we need the volume profile. If we don't have the volume profile, then this trade does not set up. We need to know where value area is. And if we don't have that, then this trade never surfaces. So we need to know a couple things about the profile. I'll explain that in this video, so you don't have to worry. And we also need to be trading the S&P. If you're not trading the ES, what you can do is you can take this and apply it to the products that you're trading. Because even if it comes in significantly less, it's still going to be high quality and you probably want to add it in. But the back testing that was done on the S&P 500, and that's where this 90% number comes from. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and jump right into the charts because I want to show you what it looks like, what the criteria for the setup is, but then how do we actually trade it so that we can go out there and trade it well. All right, so what we're looking at right now is a chart of the S&P 500 on a 15-minute time frame. Okay, so this is a profile. Here's another profile. And then the way this is set up is with intraday profile. So every day it just starts a new profile. So this was the beginning of the day. This was the end of the day. And then we have the whole profile here, right? And if you don't know anything about the volume profile, I'll link some videos in the description that you can go check out where I walk through what exactly a profile is, what it's telling us, and then how I set mine up, all those things. So those would be very valuable to you. You can go check those out. Okay, so for this setup though, we only need to know a couple of things. We need to know where the value area is, and we need to know where the point of control is. So right here, the value area represents this dark space. Everything in here is value, everything outside is not. Value area is where 70% of all the trades have happened. Of all the trades that took place, 70% of them happened right inside of here. 30% happened on these tails. And then the point of control we need to be aware of as well. This magenta line that just runs straight across, this is the point of control. Okay, this is the point of control. Now there's this other pink line that just moves all the way through like this. That's VWAP. But these lines that move straight across, that is the point of control. Point of control is the most popular price that's traded on any profile. So on this day, all the different prices that were traded, this one price was the single most popular price of the day. And if we have those two pieces of information, we are ready to go out and start finding this trade. Okay, the thing that we need for this to set up is we need to have what's called an open in range in value. What exactly does that mean? Okay, in range in value is referring to the previous day. So on this day when we opened up, if we would have opened up in range, we would have had to open up somewhere between the high and the low of the previous day. So in this case, anywhere between here and here, if we opened, then we opened in range. This is exactly what we did, but we opened outside of value. And what we need is an open in range in value, which means that for this to set up, we would have had to have opened somewhere between here and here. Anything outside of that, this trade will not work. We need to go on and look for other trade setups. And like I said, you're not going to see this every day, but when you see it, you're going to want to be aware that it's happening because this is very powerful. So in this situation, this trade won't set up and we don't need to be looking for it. We can go back one day and we open up in a gap below on this day. So same thing, it's not going to work. Go back another day, opened up in another gap below. This doesn't work. Go back another day. And we have one, okay? So here we have it. This is an open when we are inside of yesterday's range, and we're also inside of yesterday's value area. Okay, so when we see this, the trade is on and we can take advantage of it. So I want to explain what exactly it is that we're looking for, and then how do we take advantage of that so we can trade it well. Before we break this down, I do want to make the announcement that I've opened up spaces on my calendar for one-on-one strategy sessions for your trading business. These are available exclusively to you, those who follow me on social media. And I've had a couple people reach out and say that they've gone to tradeact.com/callcorbs and the calendar wasn't working. The calendar is always working, but I take all of these calls myself now. And so what'll happen is as I fill up, I'll cut it off and I just won't take any more calls for the time being. Okay, but right now I've reopened up the calendar so you can go and you can reserve yourself a slot. What'll happen is you'll go to tradeact.com/callcorbs. I'll put that in the description as well. And it takes you to a calendar where you can reserve a time that you and I can meet. It'll then take you to a quick survey. If you don't fill out the survey, I will not take your call. This really helps me filter out people that will benefit from this and people who are not serious, and I don't need to get on the phone with them. And it also gives me a little bit of information so that when we jump on the call, we can really get the most out of our time together. Okay, so we'll just dive in. We're gonna have a call where we figure out where exactly you are in your trading, where exactly it is that you're trying to get to, and then ultimately, what exactly is it that's stopping you? It'll be an incredibly beneficial time for you and your trading business. We'll spend a good 30, 40 minutes together and really go deep. All right, so I want to encourage you, do not sleep on this. It's open right now, tradeact.com/callcorbs. Go reserve yourself a slot. I'd love to connect with you, and I'd love for you to take advantage of this. They are completely free, and they're available as long as they are available, okay? So make sure you do that. Let's jump back into this trade and see what we're doing here. The way that this back testing was done is when we open up in range, in value, over 90% of the time, we are going to retest the naked point of control. So when we open up, if there's a point of control that has not been tested, retested, it's what's called a naked point of control. Okay, so as long as we were open, this was naked. And you can see what we've done here. We opened up, we moved higher, we pulled back, we moved again, we consolidated for a while, and then we dropped hard. This hard drop took us right to this point of control. You can see almost to the tick. It just dropped right to it. We tagged it, and then we bounced off to do some more consolidating. And that's what we're looking for. This is the setup. Open in range, in value, look for a retest of the previous point of control. But that is just a setup. That is not enough information to go out there and to make trades on. And really, a lot of your trading frustrations, they come from a place of going out with a half-cocked system that isn't complete. And if you just have a setup, your system is lacking. Because a setup, the only thing it can really tell you is, one, we've reached potential support or resistance, and or you need to be looking long or short. That's it. And outside of that, you need to know what to do with that information. So every setup needs a plan, and a plan is going to be a clear outline for when that setup surfaces, how do you take advantage of it? And if you don't have both those things, you don't have a system. You just have a trade setup, and you're mistaking the technical analysis with trading. They're very different things. The setup is your technical analysis. The plan for it, that's your trading. So this is a setup. You don't want to run out half-cocked with this information. I want to explain how exactly I trade this so that you can see if this is going to work for you as well. The issue with this trade, and I'm not going to use this one, is this was really tough to do. And we are in a market environment right now where the moves are literally insane. Every single day, the market is just out of its mind. There's a lot of things happening in the world right now that's causing this. And what's happening, I'm sure you've experienced this, we'll see these high quality setups that are just not playing out. The market will literally just go where it's going and it doesn't care about anything. Or if these setups do play out that are high quality, they might play out in a way that is very difficult to read. And in real time, because of the speed and because of the volatility, it's very tough to take advantage of. This is one of those situations where it played out, but it happened in such an aggressive counter move and over such a long period of time that this was really hard to trade in real time. So we're gonna go back and find another one. And I'm not cherry picking out these examples of, what the best trades would be. I'm literally just going back to the most recent ones that we've had and showing you how this works. So if we go back just one more day, then we see another one right here, okay? And this is a really good example. We have an open in range, in value, and then we moved away from the point of control, we came down, and then we tagged it, all inside of a pretty short amount of time. This is what we want to see, okay? So what exactly do I do and how do I trade this? What I'm looking for is this open in range, in value. If we open up and we just drop straight to the point of control, then this trade is done and I did not take it. Because what happened is we had a good setup, but it did not provide me with an entry. There was nothing I could do. That happens sometimes. But what I want to see happen is an open in range, in value. And just like this example, we move away from the point of control. And if that happens, if we're in range and value, we open up and we start moving away from the point of control, I am locked in looking for a fade, because I know that if I can get a good fade, a very small percentage of the time, I'm not going to get paid. This trade actually plays out almost 97% of the time. I didn't want to lead with that. I kept saying over 90 because I figured you guys would think I'm crazy if I said 97, but those are the actual numbers. This happens all the time when it sets up. And so I know that if I can get a good fade, almost always I'm going to get paid on this trade. It's really high quality. And so what will happen is we still need to know where exactly to get in. And as traders, we don't want to just run around chasing prices, getting in at random levels. A big thing that separates struggling traders from traders who trade well is traders who trade well just get good prices. They get in at good levels. And traders that are struggling are just like chasing stuff all over the place in no man's land, in just these noisy areas. So we have to find something to lean against to enter the trade on. Here's a perfect example. We opened, we moved higher, and we tested the previous value area high. So we were in value area, we moved and we tried to get out of value and we held. Once we held that, we dropped to retest this point of control. This was beautiful. And that test and that hold of value area high, that is the kind of thing I want to see. That would constitute a reason to hit that short and to take that fade. So we need to have some type of a key level. There's other key levels we can lean on. The previous value area high, that was a great one for me. Okay, and this is the trade. This is the setup. This open in range in value. If we drop to the point of control, it's done. It's played out. I didn't take it. If we move away from it, if we can get to and hold a significant level, I'm hitting the fade, taking it back to the point of control. And it's incredibly simplistic. And if you're like most people, you have the bias that if something is complicated and if something is more elaborate, then somehow it has to be worth more. And that line of thinking does not track in trading. Most of what works in trading is going to be like this, really simplistic. And this is a powerful trade that if you took this and if you not ran out and just started trading it, but if you got really good at identifying it, which this is very easy to identify, but if you got good at identifying this and good at trading it, maybe identify your own rules around it or maybe just perfect it, then what will happen is you'll see the surface and you can make a lot of money with this setup. It's very high quality. I call this the naked tractor beam. All of my high quality trades, I have them logged, I have them categorized, and they're labeled. And I know exactly what the setup is and exactly what the rules that go with that setup are. All of this, structured. And the reason this is the naked tractor beam, if you are familiar with Star Wars, the Death Star has that tractor beam that just sucks everything into it. And that's exactly what this naked point of control is doing. It's doing that to price. It's sucking price in and drawing price right to it. And taking advantage of that with a fade is how you exploit this opportunity. Okay, it's really, really powerful. And I hope that helps. And I hope that was enlightening of a nice way to use the profile that, again, you can take and you can start learning this yourself. The real power in this setup is you and your skill to trade it, not just in your ability to identify that it's shaping up. Okay, so that's it for this video, and let's all hit the like button on the way out. Do you have any questions about this? You can hit me up in the comments. Let's chat. Don't forget, tradeact.com/callcorbs. Get yourself a reservation. Make sure you sign up for a slot. And then that's it for this video. So happy trading, everybody. Watch your risk, and I will see you in the next one.